Hey, welcome back for Lesson 8. Today we're going to go over offsetting and mirroring objects. I am going to go through offset. This icon can be found here. If you don't have the design edition, it may be located in a different group, but this icon will remain the same. And let me zoom in on our work area here. Okay, so I want to offset my letters. This is great for making thinner fonts thicker and thicker fonts thinner. So if I grab my R here and I apply the offset, it's going to make it larger. I can control this with the slider, or I can manually set the distance itself. Now the one thing I want you to notice, as I'm adjusting the offset, I am actually gaining the inside circle here. If I adjust it too thick, I'm going to lose that detail. So be aware of the details when you're doing offset and inset. And I can choose to make the corners of my offsets and insets either rounded, or I can square them off. If you notice, the corners have become squared rather than rounded. Keep in mind this is now two different objects, and it's no longer just one object. Now, oops, I've got two offsets on there, sorry about that. Now if I want to do an inset, which would do the inside of the object's lines, same thing to keep in mind would be gaining or losing details with a distance that you have. And again, you can corner your edges or round them. And that same thing will happen with the thinner fonts as well. You can gain and lose details. This can be done both with fonts and basic shapes. Now the next thing I want to go into with you guys is going to be mirroring objects. The mirroring object can be found here with this icon in the replicate. This you will most often use this when you're doing HTV vinyl. So if I select my font and I mirror it, mirror left or I mirror it right, it's still going to be the same. It's just going to place it in a different location. So see, these are both the same. And I can do above and below as well. Now if I flip it over, if I go ahead and rotate it, I still have the same mirrored object I did when I just mirrored it to the right or left. So it really doesn't change the mirror. It just changes the location in proximity to the original object. Something I want you to be aware of when I do mirror my objects, or text I should say, when I double click on it, it is still text. So I can add to my text if I wish. However, if I do offset a text, once I do that offset is not considered text, so I cannot edit it. It's considered an image. So, do keep that in mind. And I want to go over one more trick when offsetting and losing details. So in my example, if I wanted to make this text thicker, go back to my offset. Say I wanted to make it so thick that I did lose the inside of the R. And keep in mind, these are two different patterns. Normally what I will do is I'll go back and steal pieces from the original text. So I'll go to this R and I will release the compound path of that R, and I will just steal the inside. Oops, I may have to ungroup as well. Release and ungroup, and then I will steal the inside of a letter and use it with my thicker font. And then again, you may have to adjust and play with that to make it look right for you. That's the basics of mirroring and offsetting your objects. Hope to see you for lesson 9.